This video will display some close quarters battle concepts developed by Task Force Trauma, an Arma 3 tactical realism community. First, we are going to start by deploying our fire team with a fire team leader, grenadier, rifleman, and auto rifleman. This 4-man fire team configuration allows us to separate 2 men into buddy teams. The fire team leader and the grenadier are going to be alpha team, and then the rifleman and auto rifleman are going to be bravo team. The way of which I deploy these guys isn't necessarily important because in CQB, your fire team formation will be continuously changing. Let that be due to whoever the first man in becomes the last man out, to combat casualties, whatever the case may be. So the fire team formation will always change every single room that is breached and every single room that is exited. With this compound, you will not know what is on the other side of this wall or what is inside these buildings, etc. The number one thing that we are going to be focusing on is maintaining TFT's fundamentals. Always have your body against a wall. Go in one direction and dedicate yourself to that movement. If moving along the same wall as a friendly, the man first goes corner to corner while the man second goes mid. Maintain momentum, walk if the scenario is complex, and move fast if it is simple. Your fire team needs to breach this compound. The first thing that we are going to do is establish our proper stack. We'll get our point men set, but we've got to establish our rear men with external security of the element through the sectors of fire concept taught during the initial training program. In Arma 3, you will have to worry about the location where you came from, but in Door Kickers 2, there is a 0% chance of hostiles entering from this location right here. So the only location that I need to maintain security is this point right here. Now that my team is established, let's go ahead and run the scenario. Security's in place. If you have eyes on dead space, you maintain lock of that position. If you see a wall, you peek the front of the doorway. This darker area right here is dead space. That is a point that this man, Saucon D's nuts, cannot see. He's gonna maintain focus on that point, just in case there's a hostile in this corner that is going to move out of it. Mr. Fugma ass, he's looking at a wall. He's not being very useful looking at a wall. So, with our doctrine, he's going to peek the front. Did you guys pay attention to what just happened right here? Doctrine saved this element. Since Saucon was watching a point of dead space, there was actually a hostile that moved out of that point into his line of fire. If Saucon broke security of that element and assumed this corner to be clear, he would be dead. These guys here are taking heavy fire from hostiles behind cover, and there is an element that is attempting to maneuver on the team. At least that is my assumption. In split-second situations, you can identify this information. Obviously, I have time to explain it to you, the viewer, but in the moment, your brain can rapidly assess these situations a lot faster than you might think. You see muzzle flash. You might not know that this guy's behind cover, but you see muzzle flash. What that means is he's got eyes on you and he's firing at you. So you're not just gonna sit there and take it, you gotta get behind cover, because if you don't, you are going to get hit. If you're taking fire from a position, move out of that position. Now, from this guy's perspective, Saucon, he is behind cover because he is in his proper stack. He is still maintaining security on this corner. Not only that, but if somebody tries rushing this doorway, he has eyes on that position. So security is maintained even if Fugma moves into cover out of line of sight of the enemy. Over here, these guys were maintaining rear security, which prevented their team from dying. One of the most common things that I see players do, which ends up getting them killed, is the moment they hear fire from over here, they immediately turn and focus in on where that's coming from, because that player assumes, oh, there's bad guys over here, I've got to help out my team. And although there are bad guys over here, the point men have it handled. These two guys have this shit handled. They do not need your attention. You need to trust your team, and your team needs to trust you. Not only is Sugades trusting Saucon to cover his ass, but Saucon is trusting Sugades to cover his ass. Fugma probably had more than enough time to identify if there were surrendering personnel or civilians within this area with the brief moment that he peeked the front prior to taking fire. Now that he knows that there are hostiles within this position and there was no visual confirmation that there were civilians or surrendering hostiles within this position, he is more than clear to implement fragmentation grenades. So just keep in mind, make sure that everybody is aware that fragmentation grenades are in use. Fugma can now attempt peeking again. This is a risky move since he knows that there are hostiles in this position, but the fragmentation grenade will do one of three things. In door kickers, this will just simply kill hostiles, but in Task Force Trauma, there are all sorts of different gameplay aspects involved. These individuals would either fall back, get stun locked in an animation, or get wounded to a point of where they hit the ground. Just because you threw a grenade in here does not mean that the people that you hurt are dead. Those people who got hit by that frag grenade will likely survive. You need to forcibly remove hostiles with your rifle. We got pushed from our rear. The rearmen had that shit covered so that individual is not able to wipe the fire team. This guy right here also hit another guy that was managing to advance. My guess was he was coming along this wall here while Fugma was moving, got around here out of Fugma's line of sight, and got to a point of where he may have had eyes on Fugma, but Fugma didn't have eyes on him. Thankfully, Saucon was watching his back. Remember, sectors of fire, proper stacking, and at this point, it is clear enough to make entry. We're gonna pop this door. The team is going to sink their stack in, meaning getting nice and close because we're about to make entry, because the first thing that we need to do is push this corner. The reason why this corner is the first thing that we need to push in this breach is because Fugma currently has no eyes on hostiles. So that means we probably have the split-second option to push this corner first instead of just moving right past it, which could end up being a very bad situation for us. Saucon is going to pie this corner and cross. Crossing is attaching yourself to the opposing wall you are stacked upon. I should have moved these guys in simultaneously, but I just kind of left them out of this equation for right now because the 2 point men moving in are the most important piece of this breach because these two guys are at the most risk. So now that Saucon has this corner clear, he re-engages his weapon to the front. Now these guys can move in however which way they need to. Now, one thing to note about this entry that was just barely made, this was not a Doctrine entry. This was not a left fed breach, a right fed breach, or a center fed breach. This is what will be known as a custom order. So you as the guy who conducted this order, instead of just saying flowing, and just kind of like noodling in there as best as you can say, hey, you, Mr. Saucon, I need you to cross right. The moment you cross, I'm going to maintain security to the front. Got it? Breaching in 3, 2, 1. That is a custom breach. Let's go ahead and focus on how these guys are moving. Sugadiz stays with his battle buddy, and Brochacho stays with his battle buddy. In this configuration, this turns into a doctrinal breach because this is a hallway, as you know from training. First step is getting the stack oriented for a hallway breach, which will be 3 men watching forward, 1 man watching rear. This hallway has a couple other areas that we need to worry about, such as this window here, this dead space location here, and this dead space location here. Since we have the hallway doctrinal breach made, this guy here on the left flank is able to cover that left dead space. Middle man here, he just watches there. Right man, he watches here. And then Sugadiz, last man, continues watching the rear. I am going to have Alpha team conduct breaches while Bravo team covers. Saucon will take point, stand along this wall. Brochacho is going to get right behind him. They are going to conduct a left fed breach. This is a doctrinal breach. The first 2 men pie dead space, moving along the cleared wall, while the next 2 men hook. Since there is no other 2 men, you just focus on the first 2. If there's furniture blocking your movement, that furniture becomes part of your movement. I'm pretty sure we're getting suppressed through this door right here. Let's just pretend that this is effective. I'm pretty sure this is a bug that's happening because these rounds should be going through this door. Now, in door kickers, they might not. This might be a gameplay choice that the developers made where you can't shoot through doors. This guy is going to immediately start shooting through this door and squeeze himself as close to this corner as he can. In game, you'll be able to crawl up onto this couch and shit. And this guy here, he will try to engage that target because Saucon is not in a good spot. At this point, Saucon will most likely be down or dead. Brochacho needs to get in there as fast as he can to eliminate that threat, or else his buddy's dead. I'm just gonna run this guy out over here and just say he's dead or wounded. All right, so this guy's down, and then all that's left for this team, for this breaching element, is Brochacho. So Brochacho's gonna pop this door. He's gonna frag it. And once boom happens, he's gonna follow Doctrine. If you see wall, you peek front. Right now, Sakon is wounded. He's laying here on the floor. But Rochacho isn't just going to break his security and go help, because if he does that, you got all of this shit opened up to come kill you. If there's a spot that I didn't clear with my muzzle, it is dangerous. So at this point, I only cleared about 1/3 of this location. So I have 2/3 of this whole location that is dangerous to me, a single guy. And my battle buddy's down. So you gotta yell at your guys, FTL's down. I need you guys to come in here and help him out. The auto rifleman is going to focus on these 2 points. Obviously, he has his ears open for this door. And then rifleman is going to come in and start assisting that wounded man. This is a left fed breach. Left fed, breaching in 3, 2, 1, moving. There's one thing that's real dangerous about this breach, the sentry point. The moment that this point man has his corner clear, so watch real close, boom, right there. He can see that this corner right here is clear. The moment he sees that, he re-engages his muzzle to the next point of dead space. Now that's good. These guys fall in. Maybe this guy's watching this window. This guy's watching this doorway. I don't see this. I don't see this. So, center fed, breaching in 3, 2, 1. Cross. Since this guy's on the same wall, he's gonna hook, so just make sure, in a center fed, one guy goes one way, one guy goes the other way. And if there's furniture, like this chair right here, that becomes part of your move. Security, security, this dude here is available. This guy is going to take responsibility of detaining this hostage. Let's say the rest of your squad is out this way, conducting breaches, pulling security, whatever it is. You can just bring them out to the location where you entered from and drop that civ off there. Just inform your squad leader. The squad leader will inform the support specialist or whatever to get like a CASEVAC vehicle out here to extract that individual. If this was me, I would say hooking. Covering hallway. This guy here, I'm on you, I'm on you. These guys are going to continue moving. The situation may warrant you to get back to your team as fast as you can. So you could just be like, yo, friendly, 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 friendly. And we're just hauling ass. Just absolutely hauling ass, trying to make up for lost time. This guy can just say single manning, hooking, because it's a very, very small area. This guy here can just say taking point. At this point, Broski would say, eastern side of the compound clear. At this point, the guys are doing so good. I'm confident. I, as a fire team lead, can just say, Bravo team, you guys see that hallway that you're looking at? You guys see this alley thingy that goes out to the left? I want Bravo to loop around there and go clear out that spot. Let me know what's over there. Alpha is going to stack and breach this building. Always pie any angle where bad guys can be. The last thing that you want is just walk past this closed door and a guy to pop out and shoot you in the back. As you move past, you pie that shit. This guy's got this stuff covered. Very good. And then he's going to re-engage. There's another spot. There's another window right here. That's a position where a bad guy can be. And then right here, these guys will just be yelling, there's a fucking dude, there's a fucking dude. And then he's going to go, huh? Huh? Now, that would have resulted in possibly a friendly fire right there. These guys begin moving out. If you're the first man to do anything, you go the long way. Because if this guy goes here and this guy goes over here, I have to move around my buddy, lollygag around. That's just more movement than what we want. This guy's gonna get to about this point right here. Oh, look at that. Hey, and that was the last guy. That's some basic application of Task Force Trauma's close quarters battle doctrine in a top-down environment. If you are not a member of Task Force Trauma, come join us. You'll learn all about the terminology. We'll train you up. It is the premier Arma 3 tactical realism community that is actively recruiting right now. If you think Karma Cut stuff is cool, we take it to a whole new level. Support the underdog. Let's surpass those guys. We can do it. Like, comment, sub. Bye.